Hello, this is Mr. Gimping here with a new stream. And in this stream I'm going to be going over the Grand Theft Auto Online event for this week, the event week for this week, and for the previous week in Grand Theft Auto Online. So yeah, this week's a very interesting event week because it's actually a 2-week event week, and it's actually not. But yeah, it's very interesting because it's actually a 2-week event week, not the typical like 1-week event week actually. So yeah, very interesting indeed. So yeah, double length event week instead of typical 1-week event week again, 2-week event week. And there's 2 times money RP on vehicle cargo sales. Vehicle cargo sales actually being the import-export business, which is not really often at all on 2 times money RP. Usually when they do it at all, it's a 1.5 times money thing, and they don't really do it that often. Because import-export's probably one of the best couple ways of making money in this entire game. So unfortunately, it's not the most shocking thing that they don't usually do import-export sales, but very amazing 2-week event week that started on like the 9th or something and goes toward the 23rd. I decided I would cover it for this very last event. I decided I would cover it for the very last week of the event week. Reason being is because, of course, the time trial probably changed still, like within a week. So there might be like very tiny things that might have changed during the event week for the second week, like time trial, premium race possibly as well. So I decided to do it for the last week, so nothing for sure changes, I suppose. So yeah, that's why I haven't done this event week stream till now, because it's a 2-week event, not a 1 week. And yeah, Podium Vehicle for the week is the Entity XF. Last event week had the Entity XXR, so basically the other Entity vehicle in the entire game, assuming there's only the 2 even. Basically the other Entity vehicle is now the Podium Vehicle. And it's actually the Entity from day 1 of the game, not the one from the Severance Andreas Super Autos, which was the last event week's Podium Vehicle, which was like almost 2 weeks ago, almost a week and a half ago maybe even. But yeah, going to my spectator, I actually haven't been able to mention it yet. Because I had a very weird start with this event week stream for some reason. But yeah, 2 times money RP and VIP working challenges, that's another very great money opportunity. Another very good money opportunity. It's actually one I do semi-often, unlike the vehicle cargo, which I almost never do, especially 2 times. I heard the last time I did 2 times might have been like 2017, like 2018 even back then for the vehicle cargo, so that's very amazing on that one. VIP working challenges, you can make like 60, 70,000 on some of those on 2 times money RP, so very amazing there as well. And vehicle cargo, I think you can make like anywhere from like 160 to 200,000. It might actually have like double the cost on like the... Doing modifications, I believe, might actually cost double if I recall, on 2 times money on the import-export stuff if I recall how they've done it before. Also, going to my spectator, 3 times money RP on extraction. Just a typical like adversary mode on 3 times money RP. Of course, I'll go into more details on like how to go about these different stuff later. And then 2 times money on bodyguard salaries and more. And by the way, yes, I've heard about the last generation news about the last generation no longer being a thing for Grand Theft Auto Online, like sometime in December. So yeah, I'll hopefully talk about that, but that's if this stream goes well. But yeah, 10,000 RP. But yeah, I'm on Ruffy 152 spreadsheet now, so I should be ready for going on Legendary Most Warrior. But yeah, again, not to be confused with the last event's Podium Vehicle, which was the Entity XXR. This event, for the 2-week event week that's going on, for its second week now, the Podium Vehicle is going to be way down on the website, and there's going to be a huge preview of the Legendary Motorsport website discounts. But yeah, regular Overflawed Entity XF. Day 1 vehicle, I don't know if they've really done much of a Day 1 vehicle, which is kind of weird for a Podium Vehicle, but it's kind of interesting being a Day 1 vehicle. But yeah, for lap time to Entity XF, going off of Ruffy 1322 spreadsheet, Entity XF is 29th place. And actually that's kind of a better lap time than the XXR actually. XXR's lap time was actually 38th place, so it's actually 9 places better, but it's still nowhere near a very good lap time for today's standards, unfortunately, for Grand Online. But yeah, in terms of top speed, it's going to be significantly worse compared to XXR. XXR is actually pretty good for top speed, and that was 4th place. But the regular XF for top speed is 35th place, so I believe that's 6 placements beneath its lap time, for example. But yeah, being a Day 1 vehicle of the, god damn it, being a Day 1 vehicle of the whole entire game, I don't know why, I was about to say like Diamond Casino Heist or something, because I'm in the Diamond Casino, I suppose. But yeah, for a Day 1 vehicle, not very surprising that it's not good performance at all for these days and age in Grand Theft Online. But it is interesting to note it actually has a better lap time than the XXR that was released like a good couple few years later or whatever. So it's not as bad, at least for lap time, but barely. But yeah, compared to week 1 of the event week 2's premium race and time trials might be completely different. That's kind of why I decided to do it for week 2, is because I didn't want to deal with like the time trials changing and people saying it was like misinformation or something, I don't know. So I decided I would do it for week 2, the event week, why not? By the way, no, I did not forget about the Reddit Online event week stream. That's going to be for the next day or 2 or something. This one obviously came out first, and being a 2-week event week, I decided to wait longer on this one. Yeah, premium race for the week is for Downtown Underground for Supercar class. With the way it looks on the image there, it kind of suggests at the beginning at least it could kind of be good for top speed, but being in the city, it's definitely got to have some sort of lap time, I would imagine. So, to keep things simple, I'll go over the lap time only for the Supercar class. And for now, I'll go off of pure memory. I typically go over this like type of class, of course, for every single event week stream for the premium race and time trials. Because time trials vehicle advice is practically always the same. So I should remember. But yeah. First place for lap times for Supercar class, going off of Ruffy 1322 spreadsheet, will be the Progen Emirates, and that's 2.7, 2.9 million. with like 50,000 at the end, something like that. So pretty expensive, but yeah, in the days of Cayo Perico Heist, at least currently, very easy to make that kind of money, so not necessarily all that bad. Second place for lap time for supercar class is the Benefactor Krieger. Benefactor Krieger is like 2.5, 2.7 million, something like that. So basically it's like 200,000 less for the stock vehicle. So 200,000 less than that, not all that bad. But yeah, at that point you might as well just go to first place in my opinion. However, third place for lap time for the supercar class is actually the Debauche Wagner from like the gun running DLC. First and second place, Benefactor Krieger, which was second, and Projet Emirates, which was first. Those two are actually Diamond Casino and Resort vehicles, I'm pretty sure. So those ones are up from like mid-2019, so those ones aren't too hard to find on the Luxury Motorsport website, so they're quite a ways up. But you'll have to go a good bit beneath those for the Debauche Wagner if you're to go and find that vehicle. Yeah, that one's like 1.5, like 1.7, 1.8 million from what I recall. So it's like around $1 million less than the other ones, but yeah, like I said, in days of Cayo Perico, you might as well just do one more Cayo Perico Heist or like 2 more, whatever. That's basically a top 3 for lap time for the supercar class. Time trial. See here. Where is that damned rigger time trial? Here it is. But yeah, again, I'm not sure if this is the same one from week 1 or if this is a new one for week 2 of this Grand Theft Auto Online event week. Regardless, it's Mount Gordo. Yeah, this one's pretty simple. You kind of just go to like the top of Mount Gordo or something. So you don't have to go like all across the map, at least anywhere near going all across the map like you do for other ones. It's only like less than a minute part time, whereas other ones might have like a couple to like even a few minutes. Cause I think there's like an end-to-end one that can be like a few minutes part time. But again, I already went over a lap time, and yeah, it's not really all that straight of a way to go, so I'm probably going to go over a lap time again here, but yeah. There's one vehicle I definitely recommend above any other vehicle when it comes to a time trial, and yeah, that will be later on, not too far from now. But yeah, again, going off at pure memory, for first place lap time for the motorcycle class, since I already went over supercars, which is typically the other class I go over for time trials. First place for lap time for the supercar for motorcycle class is the Nagasaki Jotaro, which is like $2.3 million. But yeah, $2.3 million for the Nagasaki Jotaro. I believe that's actually one of the rare vehicles in the game. You have to I believe that's one of the rare vehicles you still have to unlock in this game, actually. So if you don't have it on the Luxury Motorsport website for some reason, which that came out in like late 2016, so quite a ways down on the Luxury Motorsport website. If for some reason you don't have Nagasaki Jotaro, I believe you have to play a match at deadline in order to unlock it. Doesn't matter if you win or lose deadline, as long as you just play a match at deadline. I think that's literally the only requirement for unlocking the Jotaro. And I don't mean a trade price, I mean for actually unlocking the vehicle. So yeah, $2.3 million for the stock vehicle. It's a very interesting vehicle. I think it's the only motorcycle in the game where you can choose to lean forward or backwards with the stick for your best possible speed. Obviously, if you're doing like an actual stoppie or an actual wheelie, you get the best speed boost, but just doing a directional input on like this left stick or whatever at all, or L3 as it's technically called on PlayStation systems. Doing that at all gives you some sort of boost from my understanding, from what I recall. And that's going off of pure memory, because that wouldn't be on this spreadsheet. But yeah. Pretty sure it's the only motorcycle that works that way. And yeah, second place for a lap time for the motorcycle class is the Shih-Tzu Hakuchou Drag. Shih-Tzu Hakuchou Drag is $800,000 to $900,000, somewhere around there. So nowhere near as expensive as the Nagasaki Jotaro, but again, in the days of Cayo Perico Heist, that's really not all that important anymore, unless for some reason they change that for any reason in a future update. But yeah. Shih-Tzu Hakuchou Drag, I believe you have to actually lean forward with the stick for best possible speed, so it's similar to, I believe, how an ATV works in the game. I believe every single ATV in the game, you have to actually lean forward with the stick for best possible speed, as if you're doing kind of like a stoppie on a motorcycle, obviously. I believe there's one of two motorcycles that work that way. I believe the Nightblade's the other one that works that way, but I don't think that's a competitive option. And yeah, like the rest of the 99% of motorcycles in the game, not including those free, of course. Essentially all the rest of them, you have to lean backwards or stick as if you're doing a wheelie. But yeah. Again, that's a biker's update motorcycle, so yeah, it's like late 2016, so quite the ways down on the Legendary Motorsport website. But yeah. Finally, third place for lap time, and actually also third place top speed. It's the only one that's actually third place lap time and third place top speed for the motorcycle class. And that's the Body 801, which is like $10,000 or under for the stock vehicle, so it's way cheaper than even the Shih-Tzu Hakuchou Drag. And like I said, it's the only vehicle actually in the motorcycle class that's top 3 for lap time and top speed. All the other ones are like beneath the top 3 either for lap time or top speed. So Body 801 I definitely think is the best vehicle in general for time trials, especially since the removal of rocket boosted vehicles being usable, or certain ones obviously, which has been a thing for like the last couple years now probably. So yeah, Body 801 definitely the best choice, and again you have to lean backwards with the stick as if you're doing a wheelie for best possible speed. I believe just doing the input at all gives you some sort of speed boost, and especially if you have a wheelie it gives you the best possible speed boost. Definitely go backwards with your stick as much as possible, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, that's practically all that's needed to be known about regular time trials. I'm going to check the spreadsheet real quick though, make sure it was correct. And again, I only went over lap time, just to keep things simple, not to go over top speed as well. Because if I went over top speed as well, I would be going over this even longer. Alright, so yeah, I did remember right for lap time for this supercar class. Same goes with the motorcycles, so I did remember the vehicles correctly for top 3 lap time for motorcycle and supercar class. And then the only other time trial really is the R2 and Dito time trial. And again, I don't know if this is the same one from week 1. I didn't pay too much attention for the first week of the event week because I knew it was 2 weeks, so I knew I was kind of going to want to do it during the later half of the event week, so I didn't really care to know. But either way, it's cemetery. RCB and Dito time trial, there's not necessarily anywhere near as much advice to give for those as there is for regular time trials, because obviously there's only one usable vehicle, so obviously you just gotta be skillful with the one vehicle. But I actually do have an RCB and Dito time trial guide. It was like one of the 4 I've done. I've only done guides for like the first 4 RCB and Dito time trials, because quite frankly it was kind of a boring series to make, and I'd rather put that effort into things I like doing better, such as contact mission content, or my vehicle review and guidance series. So yeah, I kind of stopped that series, but I do actually have a guide for this. But I'm like super detailed in my guides, so if you want more of a simple one, I'd probably recommend like GTA Men. GTA Men basically goes over all the RCB and Dito time trial guides. Typically, it goes over them every single time they release, so if there was 2 different ones for the event week, then I don't know if he went over the cemetery, maybe he went over the previous one, but not sure about this one. And then GTA series videos. GTA series videos has videos on them, of course, as well, but they don't do it like every time they release. So if you want the best, most consistent RC Data time trial guide, or even for regular time trials, I recommend GTA Men for sure, as far as my knowledge goes. But yeah, time trials are basically designed to be failed, and then you learn from them. So it's kind of mainly a trial error thing, I'd say. But yeah, that should do with the premium race time trial and RC Bandito time trial. At least for week 2. I don't know if it's the same from week 1 or not, though. Because little things like that, I wouldn't be surprised if they changed that for the second half of the event week, but yeah. As far as I know, there's nothing from the second half that wouldn't have been in the first half of the 2-week event week. But yeah, I'll stop on a rooftop here, and then I'll go over, like, money opportunity kind of stuff. And, like, login rewards. But yeah, only one of the money things on the pause menu on the spectator and the title is 3 times money RP on extraction. That might quite frankly be the only one on the pause menu, but yeah. Extraction's kind of interesting because there is actually another version of extraction, not just like the regular extractions. But yeah, I think there's an extraction for the Diamond Casino. So I think there's a casino extraction, or diamond extraction, I think it's called. Ah, okay, never mind. I thought extraction was this mode, but apparently it's not, so I think extraction only has like regular maps. And it doesn't have the usual 7 maps. Most adversary modes actually have 7 maps, this one actually only has 5. But yeah, I think it's actually the adversary mode that introduced like the Valkyrie mod .0 or something, which I think it's basically the Valkyrie, but it doesn't have the explosive cannon. So do know if you play this mode for some reason that the Valkyrie won't actually have the like explosive cannons. So if you don't really like that, then it's probably not going to be a really fun mode, in a sense. But there was like a Rendevis point, whatever, and like extracting like a CO kind of as like a CO like bodyguard kind of function, similar to that kind of thing in free mode. So hopefully I get somewhat of an idea of what it's about. Like obviously there's so many adversary modes in the game, I personally don't like really know. And I used to play like all the different adversary modes, but they haven't like released any since like After Hours or something. Plus I'm not the biggest fan of them, so I haven't like played really any of the diamond ones or nothing. So I haven't been playing the rare adversary modes that they released within the last couple years. But yeah, even on 3 times money RP, I kind of see this as the worst, if not one of the worst money opportunities. So I honestly just wouldn't really bother with it. I'm not saying it's necessarily bad, but it's not necessarily going to be that great either. And yeah, I know that's probably not a lot of details on it, but I quite simply don't know too much. Like I said, there's so many adversary modes in this game. Alright, looks like that was the only one in the pause menu. All the rest of the money opportunities are all, like, in different menus and stuff. And I guess actually since there's a CO menu, I'll talk about the VIP work and challenges next. Alright, so VIP work and the challenges. I'll mainly be covering VIP work because I don't really do the challenges much because it does require playing with other people and that's not really my hugest thing to do. But yeah, first VIP work listed here is Plowed, which involves smashing enemy supply crates using the Phantom Wedge. But yeah, Phantom Wedge, you do need to own the Phantom Wedge in order to start up this VIP work. If you want to host it, you do have to own the Phantom Wedge. It's a pretty good vehicle to own, honestly, just for this VIP work, especially for 2x money events. Plowed is a very good one. It actually pays like 60,000, I'm pretty sure, on double money. Normally pays like 30,000, 60,000 on double. It's pretty decent for only like a couple of few minutes to fill for sure. But yeah, Plowed has a 1 hour cooldown, so you have to do like different ones. Yeah, 60,000 not all that horrible for the Phantom Wedge VIP work. Fortunately, I don't really know much of a strategy on this one. I don't think you can blow up like the crates with... I think you have to kind of destroy the crates with the Phantom Wedge. I don't think you can like use like a Hydra or have someone else in your organization use like a Hydra to blow it up or something. But yeah, a couple few minutes, not necessarily too horrible for 60,000. Probably one of the better vehicle ones, I'd say. But yeah, fully loaded with the Ruiner 2000. This one's unfortunately not a very great VIP work. But yeah, fully loaded, you destroy like 10 turreted limos, and that's basically it. And they're kind of far throughout the map, and you have like 20 minutes to do it. So yeah, it does take a good while, and you only get like 5,000, like 10,000 or something like that. Maybe almost like 20,000 on double money even. Normal payout's not great, and double money payout's not very great as well. Main reason to do fully loaded really is to like protect from grievers or to use it as a grieving tool, unfortunately, if you choose to do it that route. So that's basically the best thing for the Ruiner 2001, and again, it does have a 1 hour cooldown, thank God, because if it was, it would be even more abused than it already is, I imagine. Amphibious Assault, I believe that one's for the Technical Aqua. But yeah. Unfortunately, even I don't know much about this one, because it does involve other players. You do need other people in your organization. So it's not one I typically do, but just think about it for a moment. The Technical Aqua, like, it's a truck on land, of course. Trucks aren't all that fast of a vehicle, and especially amphibious truck, especially when it goes in water, it's not going to be all that fast. So I definitely imagine whatever it pays, it's probably nowhere, it's probably not like 60, 70,000 like some higher ones are anyways. I just don't really see all of that kind of thing being worth it. So I just don't think that one's honestly going to be worth it regardless. Transporter. Transporter involves the Wastelander. And yeah, by the way, all these first 8 are all from the Import-Export update. You have to own like all the different special vehicles. So basically you need the associated special vehicle if you want to host all these. It's not just like that for the pod, it's for all 8 of the first VIP works I'll be talking about. Amphibious Assault, I don't really know what the cooldown is, but I would probably guess like 30 minutes or an hour. That tends to be the 2 different amounts of cooldowns essentially with the vehicle ones. Transporter involves using a Wastelander transporter vehicle to a drop-off location. So you basically have to go from point A to point B with a Wastelander to deliver a vehicle. And then you have like a couple like AIs that chase after you, but if you don't bother with the AIs, you just focus on your point A to point B destination. Transporter is not a hard one at all. Transporter, I believe you get like 30, 40,000 on double money. I believe it's like 40,000 something on double money at most. So it's nowhere near the best. But because of that, it doesn't have as bad of a cooldown. I think it's only a half-hour cooldown, or 45 minutes at most on Transporter. So cooldown's not as large, and it's kind of a nice small one you can do. So it kind of pays around the amount of like Headhunter, Sightseer, stuff like that, for example. Fortified. Fortified involves the armored box bill and surviving until time runs out. Fortified is actually a very good strategy that I know of for the fortified one with armored box bill. But yeah. I believe over here is one of the spawn locations for the armored box bill, so if you're don't necessarily be too close, but be somewhat of a distance close to that area, like maybe like over here or something, by like the casino would be a good area. I recommend going for the spawn point over here for the armored box bill. And then I recommend taking it into the storm drain, and then going into one of the like tunnels. Reason being is that, of course, underground you're a lot more safe, especially if you're in a public lobby. Though apparently I do hear now you can actually like use thermal vision and you can attack people from like tunnels and stuff. I've heard of that within a few days ago from like Gilly Master or something. I watched his video about thermal vision being like broken or something. So I guess that's kind of something to look out for, but you shouldn't even be doing VIP work and challenges in a public lobby anyways. You can do this stuff in invite only, like I am in right now. You can actually literally do a VIP work. You can do any VIP work in an invite only pretty much, unless it involves like another organization or something. So you shouldn't be doing Fortified in a public lobby, but that strategy is especially helpful if you're in a public lobby. But still helpful regardless, though you don't have to deal with all the AIs damaging the vehicle as well. So still helpful to know that strategy for invite only. Going for the spawn location, going in storm drain, going in down the ground sections. Basically makes you good to go. And yeah. There is a bad thing about Fortified though. The bad thing about Fortified is that it lasts 10 minutes. So there is a set time limit for Fortified. There's no way to like reduce the timer as far as I'm aware. So it is 10 minutes, but you do get $70,000, and it's, I forget if it's a half hour or an hour on the cooldown. It's probably an hour, I don't entirely know. But still, it is one of the best paying VIP works. Same goes for Velocity. In fact, I think Velocity is the better of these two. That pay like 70,000, I believe, on double money, which means they pay like 35,000 normally. And Velocity, I also have a really good strategy for Velocity. But yeah. Velocity, you enter a rocket voltic and you have to stay at top speed until time runs out to avoid detonation. So basically you have to be at certain speed limits or you're going to basically blow up. And normally that one also lasts 10 minutes. But I think if you play it with associates, you can actually collect like air checkpoints or something. I believe I've watched a professional video or something like years back, and I think there was like an air checkpoint thing with it. So I'm not entirely sure on that, but at least for Velocity, there might be air checkpoints that other people in your organization might be able to collect to reduce that timer. But yeah. My strategy for Velocity is I like to start around the casino again. That actually has another really convenient spawn point close to the casino, similar to like the armored box bill. And then I like to go on this highway here. And basically I want to stay on, you want to stay on the highway for the entire 10 minutes at most. Especially if you're doing solo, then there's, just like the armored box bill, especially if you do it solo, there's no way to reduce that cooldown. I mean, not cooldown, but the time the Velocity VIP work lasts. But basically, you go on this whole entire highway here. Eventually, within the 10 minutes, you will get to this point. This point, if you go over here, you're not going to be on the highway anymore, so don't do that. You want to like go over here so you can go on this under part. Or actually not here, that also goes off the highway. But in the tunnel area here, you want to go there, and then you can still be on the... And then I believe once you get to like here or something, assuming you don't use like the speed boost, I think it's like the furthest you should make it. Assuming you don't use like the speed boost unless you're under the speed limit. So yeah, I don't recommend using the speed boost on the Rocket Voltic unless you're about to get blown up. So yeah, you shouldn't be using the rocket boost unless you're under that speed limit, because that's pretty inefficient for completing the VIP work there. But yeah, that's basically my strategy for doing velocity. My strategies for Fortified and velocity work like basically every single time. So it's a very easy way to guarantee that you get that $70,000 on an invite-only lobby, of course. And yeah, you shouldn't really be doing them in public lobbies anyways, because only one can be done at a time, I'm pretty sure anyways. It's just inefficient. If you're going for VIP working challenges, it's definitely go invite-only lobby. But yeah, ramped up. I don't usually do this one either, again, because I don't really play with other people. But ramped up actually involves the ramp boogie. You can't really see the description because it will just say I don't have enough associates, obviously, because I'm going to invite only by myself. But yeah. Ramped up, it's actually a very easy one. You don't even need to use the ramp boogie for its intended use for the VIP work anymore. Reason being is you're supposed to ramp up like motorcycles to get like packages and stuff. But obviously, if you recall, there's the Oppressor and the Oppressor 2 especially. And there's also the Death Bike somewhat, and that can be used as well. So there's a couple motorcycles that have like jumping and like flying capabilities in the game now, so you don't even need to use the ramp buggy anymore. So basically, someone just needs to sit in a ramp buggy, and then people in the organization just need to use Oppressor 2s. That's much of a vehicle that people don't like. The Oppressor 2 is actually basically the best option for ramped up. And yeah, I'm not familiar with the payout. I bet at minimum it's around like what Transporter's payout is, which was like 40,000. I bet that's like the minimum payout. I don't think it's like 60,000 like the. I don't think it's like 60,000 like the Phantom Wedge, but I believe it pays at least like 40, 50,000, I would imagine, on double money. And yeah, well, I'm not going to be able to show that one off if I do decide to do it during the stream. That is definitely a strategy to go for. Obviously, Oppressor 2 is a motorcycle that can literally float, so you don't even need the ramp buggy whatsoever, aside for starting it up, and then someone just sit in it, obviously. And then finally, for the import and export VIP works, which involve the different special vehicles. This one I'm not too familiar with. And yeah, again, velocity for cooldown, I think that's like a 30-minute hour one, I forget. But I imagine being $70,000, they're both hour cooldowns. So I don't know, they could be like 45 minutes or 30 minutes. It's definitely one of those free values. But yeah, stockpile cargo crates on land and at seas in Blazer Aqua. Blazer Aqua and like the technical Aqua is a kind of fast vehicle. But like seriously, it's probably not that worth collecting crates on land and sea with a vehicle. I don't know what the payout is, if it's even worth justifying all that effort necessarily, but yeah, it's not one I typically do. I mainly focus on velocity, fortified, transporter, and then plowed, and then on rare occasionally fully loaded. So I'm least familiar with amphibious assault. Not too familiar with ramped up, but just using logic, I know that very good strategy I mentioned obviously with the ramp buggy. Like I've heard you could use the I hear you can use the Mark II for sure for ramped up. But yeah, I doubt this one's worth the effort, so I'll probably avoid that one. Headhunter. Headhunter is where we get to the like upper half of the VIP works, and these ones all debuted with the initial release of VIP works with the Executive of the Criminals DLC. And those ones you just need to have the VIP or CO. You don't need like the associated vehicles like you do with the first 8, which were from import-export. Or basically the last 8 that were added. Headhunter, you assassinate all targets before time runs out. Headhunter, you could probably do that in like a couple minutes at best. So yeah, you could probably literally do that one in a couple minutes, and then it pays like 40-50,000. Headhunter might honestly be one of the best VIP works you can probably do. Because the thing is, Headhunter only has like 5 or 10 minute cooldown. I think it might be a 10-minute cooldown for the same VIP work, but if you go like back and forth, then one of them has a like 5-minute cooldown. And I'll talk about that kind of later. But yeah, Headhunter is an easy $40,000 to $50,000, and you only have to like destroy a bunch of targets, which you can do with so many vehicles like the Savage, Press Mark II, obviously, Sparrow, all kinds of things can do that so easily in this game. Like literally, it probably only takes a couple minutes each time at best, if you use like the right vehicle and are skilled enough with it and all that. Air Freight. Fortunately, again, this one does require people. This one actually requires people outside of the organization. So you actually need people that aren't tied to your organization. So you do need to have people in the lobby. Technically, you could probably still do it in an invite only. You could probably just have like friends not tied to your like organization or something. But Air Freight's not even a good one to do anyways. Air Freight, I think it's the only VIP work where you can actually lose money. And I believe you actually have to use like a cargo bomb to lift like a container or something. And the container has like a value on it. And I don't entirely remember, but there might be like AI targets that shoot it or something. So even if you don't have like players going after you, it's probably going to get damaged anyways. And it's not even all that great for money. Even on double money, I'm pretty sure. So, because you can lose value, I'm pretty sure, on Air Freight, which involves the cargo bomb, carrying something, I'm pretty sure that's the one that one is. Because you can lose value on it, I just don't recommend it at all. Hollowed, again, requires people outside the organization, because it's one of those where you have to have it where people can technically go after your stuff. But yeah. College, you can use vehicles like the Phantom Wedge. You might be able to use like the MLCs. So a couple like DLC, like semi-truck kind of vehicles can be kind of useful for haulage, especially the Phantom Wedge, having that like wedge in front and stuff. So there are a couple vehicles that help with haulage nowadays, for sure. But yeah, not probably necessarily all that worth it, especially with the restrictions, not being able to really do it. Also, Takeover is where you retrieve a package from a highly security area and deliver it to a drop-off location. I don't think this one pays anywhere near as much as Headhunter. But it's not a hard one at all. It's an okay one. It's alright, but it's not great. So it's not one I necessarily would avoid, like Air Freight, for example. But not all that great either, so I'd probably skip out on it if you're going for hardcore money making. Yeah, that one you can do Ultra Camp, Fort Zancudo, LSIA, Mirrorwater Base. So there's probably only those 4 locations. But you make a decent amount of money, but yeah. It's not necessarily one I recommend though, but it's not bad, I'll consider it either. Asset recovery. Steal 1 or more vehicle from a police station, deliver them to a drop-off location. But yeah, asset recovery. I really don't recommend doing asset recovery. I believe usually you do have to steal more than one vehicle. I think it's usually like 2 vehicles from what I recall. It's just not worth the time. You don't even get that much payout. I think it pays less than Headhunter. Pretty sure it pays less than Headhunter, so that already shows, especially when you're having to like steal like vehicles and you can't like choose what kind of vehicle it is or anything. Like it's obviously not going to be a good 20 different B vehicle, like some aircraft or something. For that reason, it's just not worth doing asset recovery. And like I said, I'm pretty sure the payout's way less. Not way less, but it's definitely less than Headhunter, if I recall. But yeah. Executive Deathmatch and Executive Search. Executive Deathmatch actually requires another VIP or CEO to be in your session. Again, you can do it with friends, surely, if you want it as a like guarantee or something. As long as they're cool, not bothering with your Executive Deathmatch or whatever. But I mean, if you're especially going to do this in a public lobby, you're probably just putting like a target on your back or something. And I doubt it pays all that great anyways, even on double money, so it's probably not really all that worth the effort. Executive Search, again, this is when you don't need like another CEO, you just need other people outside the organization. Executive Search, as long as you keep moving, you won't be all that easy to find necessarily. But yeah, Executive Search. Again, similar to Executive Deathmatch, you're probably just putting a target on your back, so it's not really all that worth doing, especially with all the restrictions, not being able to do it in the invite only by yourself or something. Just not worth it, in my opinion. And then the last couple, Sightseer. Sightseer, you have to hack a system, reveal packages, collect across Los Santos, Wayne County. But yeah, Sightseer I think is actually one of the better ones, just like with Headhunter, in terms of the like first bunch of VIP works that were added in the game. I think Headhunter and Sightseer are probably the best couple to grind for sure, because they have like the least cooldown and then they pay decent money. Not the best money, like 40,000-50,000 maybe at best. I think they pay 25,000 at most, so yeah, I think it gets up to 50,000 on double. Compared to like 60 with Paladin and like 78,000 with like Fortified Velocity. So they're not as good payout wise as those, but I believe the cooldown is significantly less than Headhunter and Sightseer, so actually those two are probably the best to just grind back and forth. So I don't think there's a way to grind like constant Headhunter. I think they make you take a break, so you have to kind of alternate between like a couple different ones at least. Maybe like even a third one you might have to do in between if you're pretty quick with them. But yeah, Sightseer, basically the best way to do is to have your like best point A to point B vehicle, which is probably going to be an aircraft like Sparrow. Sparrow's the new #1 top speed helicopter, so Sparrow's probably the best bet for Sightseer nowadays. Plus also like the best vehicle for Cayo Perico Heist grinding and whatnot. One of the best ones, that is. So yeah, Sightseer, and of course a Sparrow as well. #1 top speed helicopter in the game now, very good for Headhunter. So just use a Sea Sparrow, not Sea Sparrow, but a regular Sparrow with Headhunter, and then Sightseer back to back is basically the best way, I think. Could probably make around 100k every like 5-10 minutes doing that. At best, I would imagine. So this could be the #1 money opportunity with the VIP work, but yeah. Vehicle cargo is pretty good as well, if you're in the right lobby, technically. And then there's piracy prevention. Last VIP work is piracy prevention, which involves owning a yacht, so you have to own a yacht in the game. So even before the Super Yacht Life missions, there was an incentive of kind of having a yacht, and that's piracy prevention. And in fact, I think that's still kind of the best reason to own a yacht, actually, even after those missions were released, piracy prevention. Again, like with Executive Deathmatch and Executive Search, you are putting a target on your back probably, because depending on the people in your lobby, they might want to go after your VIP work. But yeah, obviously if you're just an invite only and you don't, and other people you're friends with don't attack your yacht, it should still be very good to do. But it's kind of similar to Fortified and Velocity, unfortunately, where there's that 10-minute time limit. And just like a Fortified, there's no way to reduce the time limit. I'm pretty sure only Velocity between like the ones that have to go a certain amount of time, basically. In order to just like, whenever you finish them or whatever. I think piracy prevention is more similar to Fortified than it is Velocity, like I mentioned, because there's no way to reduce that timer. But you make 60,000, I believe, when you're doing that. So you do make 10,000 less, I believe, than you do with Fortified and Velocity on double money. But 60,000 for 10 minutes, not necessarily that bad. Especially if you hang around with friends and stuff that don't care to bother with your, like, VIP work and you alternate with them or something. But again, the most convenient way is just to be an invite only to do any of these stuff. So I would only focus on the ones that are available, obviously, through invite-onlys and without having to have other people. So I'd probably stick to the 10 that are highlighted, because it seems there's 7 that require more restrictions. Yeah, there's basically 7 that require more people, either in another organization, or like outside of your organization, etc. So all in all, I know all those descriptions might have been kind of confusing, but for a TLDR version 2, long didn't read version, whatever, Cloud is very good, 60,000. It only takes like a few minutes, but it does have that hour cooldown. Fully loaded, not that good. Only like 5,000, 10,000 at minimum, I think. Or like 20,000 maybe at most, even on double money. It's mainly for like an anti-griefing or griefing tool, really. It's basically the best fully loaded it's known for. I don't know much on Amphibious Assault, but yeah, it has more restrictions to start it up, so yeah, not really all that great for grinding. Transporter, I mean, it's not bad, but it's not all that great either. It's like 40, it's probably under 50,000, like 40,000. Kind of close to Headhunter in a sense in terms of payout, but only like 30-minute cooldown, which is nowhere near the lowest cooldown, so probably not the greatest one to grind. Fortified, 70,000 in 10 minutes, especially doing the strategy I mentioned in an invite only. Very easy way to guarantee a $70,000 every time. But yeah, cooldown at minimum probably 30-45 minutes compared to some with like 5-10 minute cooldowns, so probably not worth doing anyways. But not a bad one. Velocity is kind of basically the best of the 3 that are kind of guaranteed to last 10 minutes. I think that one can be lowered if you're playing with other associates. But yeah, not necessarily bad, but not the greatest one either, but it's pretty good still. Ramped up again using the strategy of using a Press Mark 2s, not even using a ramp buggy to ramp up motorcycles to collect the packages. I'm sure that one can be pretty good, I'm just not used to that one because I don't play with other people typically. Stockpile, I don't really play this one, I'll be honest, but I'm certain this one's probably not that worth it. Headhunter, easy 50,000 within like a couple minutes, 45, 50,000 on double money. Or maybe more like 40 to 50,000. Very easy, you can definitely do that within a couple minutes at your fastest, I imagine. Probably one of the best 2 to grind, I'd imagine. Air freight, this one's probably the worst one you could do, because you can actually lose value on the like container that the cargo bots are carrying. So that one you can actually lose value, so definitely the worst one to do, I'd say. Plus, not to mention all the restrictions with it. Same with Holland, there's those restrictions with it. They're certainly not going to be one of the best ones. Hostile takeover. You have to choose the location, which is nice. Pay's not the worst, so it's a decent one, but not all that great. Asset recovery, probably too long to be worth the effort, and I don't think it pays as much as Headhunter. Executive Deathmatch and Search, you're basically just going to put a target on your back, depending on the lobby you're playing, so not really that worth doing. Plus, not to mention the more restrictions to be able to start it up in the first place. Sightseer, that and Headhunter I definitely think are the best two to grind. For a third one, I'd probably recommend Cloud, Fortified, or Velocity. And if you have to do like a third one between any of those cooldowns, I'd probably recommend Cloud, Fortified, or Velocity. So one of those three, along with Headhunter, Sightseer, are basically the top three I'd probably focus on if you're going to go to VIP work and challenges route for making money. And then Piracy Prevention. 60,000 within 10 minutes, not all that bad, so it's decent depending on the lobby you're in, but again, you're most likely just going to put a target on your back, plus there's more restrictions to start it up in the first place. So again, top couple, definitely a Headhunter, and then Sightseer, I'd say. And a couple that could fit in the top 3, top 5 would probably also be like Cloud, Fortified, and like Velocity, in my opinion. So I mean, those are definitely the best few to grind. And yeah, challenges, I don't know all the different challenges. I don't really do challenges again, because I'm mainly still a player. But I believe there's like market manipulation where you hack probably market manipulation, you like hack a lot of like ATMs, or it's the one where you rob a lot of convenience stores. So basically those are a couple different ones. They're like do like hacking or robbing of stores or something. So you can make some okay money, but challenges aren't anywhere near as good as the VIP work. The reason you want to do VIP work as much as you can over the VIP challenges is because everybody gets the same payout on VIP work. VIP challenges, everyone gets different payouts. It depends on how good every person does. Obviously, as the name suggests, they're challenges, so you're competing against your other people, whereas the work, everyone's like working together, obviously. So making money in work is way better than challenges. But yeah, that was a couple of the VIP challenges I can remember. I believe there's the most wanted VIP challenge, where you have to like not get killed by the cops in a set amount of time or something. That's a pretty good one as well, I can recall. And yeah, I know you can split money, but still, it's kind of a hassle, I feel, so not worth doing. And even if you split money, it's probably not all that fair for the people who like win the mode and all that stuff. Yeah, that's another good one. And then the other good one I can think of is, I don't know if it's the last of 4 I can think of right now, but there's definitely way more than 4. Unlike I think biker challenges there's 4 or whatever. MC challenges, I think there's 4 of those, but there's way more VIP challenges. But I'm just mentioning a few that I remember. And another good one I know of is salvage. I think salvage is definitely one of the better ones, swimming in the water for like checkpoints and stuff. And yeah, with the scuba suit, that's very easy to do. And then there's like the tour door and whatnot. But yeah, that's VIP work and challenges. 2 times money on bodyguard salaries. 2 times money on bodyguard salaries. I think normally it maxes out at 10,000, and that's if you're doing stuff before you're like CEO for a while. And that also includes associates as well, I'm pretty sure. I just couldn't fit that into Master Spectator, obviously. So that does include associates, because I'm guessing there's a difference apparently between the associates and bodyguard. I just don't know what that is. Maybe bodyguard's like CEO and then associates like VIP, but they're essentially the same thing as far as I know. But yeah. You have to work for a while for your CO if you want that to get to 20,000, but you can get the normal max one, which is 10,000, like right away, which is kind of nice. But if you're doing stuff for a CO for a while, I believe it can go up to 20,000. And yeah, it's not like the biker where you get like a certain percentage or something, I believe, of what the MC makes or whatever, so it's not as good as like if MC money was like doubled or something, or whatever. I guess they're called like the prospects or something, if I recall. So not as good as that, but it's a small little something. But yeah. And then I think the last thing should be the VIP, not VIP work, but the vehicle cargo sales being on double money RP for money opportunities, obviously. I'm just checking, make sure I covered all the other money opportunities before I jump into that one. And yeah, double salary is for associates, not just bodyguards as well. Again, I just couldn't fit associate with bodyguard because of the character limit on the message spectator. But yeah, last one's definitely the double on vehicle cargo sell missions. But yeah. Apologies for being on VIP work for a while, but it's just a lot to explain with all the 17 different VIP works, and I try to go in as much detail as I can, especially when I don't have an informative video on it just yet. Because I don't have any intentions necessarily to make a video on that kind of thing anytime soon, for the VIP works, the best ways of doing them and stuff. But yeah. 2 times money and RP on the vehicle cargo. Like I was saying at the beginning, they don't typically do 2 times money RP on the vehicle cargo. When they do it on rare occasion, it is typically 1.5 times money, because it's already very good for making money, so like, doing 2 times is not something they do very often. Because if you set it up properly, it's one of your best ways of making money as a solo player, technically. It's one of the best couple ways, I'd say, of making money in the game, honestly. Especially for a solo player with myself. But yeah. Unfortunately, I feel with the double money RP, even with VIP work and in the CO work, it's really only nice if you want to do something different in Cayo Perico Heist. Cayo Perico Heist, unfortunately, is just so good, you don't really, unfortunately, need to bother with that stuff. I'm not saying, obviously, they should nerf it at all, like, it's very good for making money, definitely don't, but, yeah. Thing with the import-export business, but yeah, it's a completely active business. It's not like the biker businesses, bunker business, or like the nightclub. Import-export, the vehicle cargo, is a completely active business, but it's probably the best active business in the entire game, as I mentioned. Because yeah, special cargo is very risk-reward. Technically, vehicle cargo can be as well, but at least you're driving like. At least you're driving very fast vehicles and you're not driving like huge trucks and stuff like that. You're not driving like huge slow like vehicles, like you're not doing like the tug or the brigade, and even like the planes. Like one of the planes you can do for the special cargo is literally like the Titan. Q800 is probably the best sail vehicle for that one, but yeah, the Titan can be kind of slow and bulky at times in a sense, I would imagine. So having fast vehicles for import-export for your sale vehicles is definitely a very nice change compared to the typical business with like all kinds of slow vehicles and whatnot. So yeah, the sales are very generous. I think the sales are definitely pretty easy. Getting the vehicles can be very annoying though. I think within the past couple updates, the like Cargo Bob sale. The Cargo Bob sourcing mission has been in the game for the last couple, like, updates now, I think. For some reason, there was, like, a Cargo Bob, like, sourcing mission that would be removed a lot in the game, but I think it is in the game right now. So, yeah, that one's really annoying, because when you pick up a vehicle with the Cargo Bob, you actually have buzzards chasing after you. But, yeah. The bad thing about the vehicle cargo and the sourcing is that sourcing missions are very annoying to do. Certain ones are very difficult. There's a lot of easy ones, kind of like with the other businesses, but it's very infamous for having some of the worst source emissions. So it's bad in that aspect, but basically every other aspect is very good. Like I said, you get a bunch of very fast vehicles for the sales, which is very different compared to most of the businesses in the game. Like Nightclub, that definitely comes to mind. Obviously all the businesses have their good sale missions. But most businesses have bad sale missions in the mix with good sale missions. Import-export business, I feel, is like the only business I can think of that has like nothing but good sale missions. So for selling, it's probably the best business in the game. And in terms of business, I think import-export is the number 2 best business in the game, I would say, personally. The only thing I think the import-export is beat by is the Nightclub. And yeah, Nightclub, that produces automatically for the most part, and then you can accelerate that with business battles. That's essentially the only other thing you can do for Nightclub business. The Nightclub business is probably the easiest one to do, as long as you have like all the stuff to make it profitable, obviously, like all the different biker businesses and whatnot. So essentially it's double money, which they haven't done for quite a couple years, I've heard. Like I said, I think they last did it 2017 or 2018 from what I've heard. That's just from what I heard though, because my memory is not the best. But yeah. Definitely take advantage of it for the last few to several days that I'm doing this event week stream for. That since I'm getting to it. Since I got to it late Thursday, now it's early Friday. But yeah, it goes until June 23rd. June 23rd is when this event ends. And yeah, being a 2-week event week, I feel, is kind of fishy, actually. And what do you know, of course, the Newswire that they mentioned, like, the next update, it kind of hints at the next update will be coming to GTA. Said something about, like, a hot list or something, which gives a huge import-export vibes to... Does that mean the DLC might be coming in pretty soon after this event week? I don't know. Maybe a few weeks after, because they still have like survival maps and like the deadline stuff. I think they mentioned from that Rockstar Newswire from like mid-May, I believe it was. So yeah, I think it's kind of has to do with that for why they did 2 times money RP. I feel that's literally the only reason they did it, is kind of as a little fun way to hype the next update in a sense. I definitely don't feel they did this just to be fully generous. I don't feel they just did it randomly just because. I feel it definitely has to do something to do with the next update, going off of what they've provided so far, obviously. So I feel that's why they did this rare money opportunity. But yeah, because this money opportunity is so rare, it's even rarer than client jobs, which missed the whole entire update with the Los Santos Summer Special being 2 times money RP. And they did that like a few weeks ago or something. This is one of the very rare things in the game that they almost never do, so definitely do it. I'd say even if you like Cayo Perico a lot, if you definitely want to change it up, definitely do this vehicle cargo. Because it can definitely be better than VIP work, if not like around the same in terms of how good it is compared to 2 times money RP on the VIP work. But VIP work might honestly be better, especially if you don't like how hard the source missions can be. Like I said, import-export, it's mostly known for having the hardest source missions, but also like the easiest sell missions, I'd say, between all the businesses in the game. But yeah, like I said, best active business. And yeah, you can combine it, you can obviously combine it if you buy supplies for the biker or bunker businesses, and then also the nightclub business, which practically does its own stuff, obviously. But yeah, I think I'll show kind of as well. Actually, I don't think I can go on the laptop since I'm in invite only. But there is a good way to guarantee that you get only top range vehicles. But yeah. From my understanding, there's 32 unique vehicles in the game for the import-export DLC for the sales and whatnot. So there's 40 vehicle slots, but there's only 32 unique vehicles. So if you get 80% full on your warehouse, you essentially have all the medium, you have all the like low, mid, and like top range vehicles, as long as you get like 32 vehicles in your warehouse. I think there's like 12 high-end vehicles, so you want to be between like 21 and 32, I think, or like 10, 11, something. But yeah, I think if you're 80% in your vehicle warehouse between the 40 different slots, I think that means you have one of every single vehicle. And then like the last 8 are able to be duplicates, so you want to stay between like the 21 and like 32 vehicle like sweet spot for what you have. So once you're like on your like 22nd, 23rd vehicle, you're practically guaranteed high ends as long as you stay within like 32. I'll try to show it off better later if I go into like a public session to do some like import-export, because there is like stuff going on with it as well. That's kind of number one thing I can think of to help people with the import-export thing is there is a guaranteed way to get top range vehicles. So definitely a good thing to know and to keep in mind when doing that business. Because if you don't know that trick, then it's not necessarily as great as it can be for making money. Yeah, I think I mentioned just about everything I can think of for the import-export business. Like I said, one of the best things in the game. I think it's kind of like the third best thing in the game, probably behind Nightclub and Cayo Perico. I'd say it's kind of the third best thing in the entire game that you can do. So that's how great import-export on 2 times is. And like I said earlier, there is the negative. I think you have to pay like 40,000 if I recall. I think they do actually increase the like payment you have to do to double as well for like the modifications. Obviously, if you go for the most pay on vehicles, I think they do double that if I recall. So you kind of have to actually pay extras. So essentially, you might get 160,000 instead of 80,000 from the vehicle in terms of profit. Technically, it's still 2 times if you think of it all in that way. It's just not going to be 200,000 like most might think per vehicle. And yeah, you can probably do like 3 vehicles in an hour easily. There's like 20-minute cooldowns, so you can probably do like 3 vehicles in an hour at best. Or of course you can go for like collections and stuff. I don't really do that, but yeah. If you play with associates, you can definitely do like collections and whatnot. Which from then, I don't know like how much better that would be, and I don't know if like the collections are double or anything. Nor do I know much how those work. So if you're making like at least 160 per vehicle free in an hour, I'm assuming would be kind of best. You could probably make around like 500, 600 in an hour. Which I guess that is nowhere near Cayo Perico still. Cayo Perico is obviously still going to be the best thing to do, I would imagine for sure. There is some kind of decent competition actually for between a couple of these different money opportunities. But yeah, there is stuff going on with steal missions as well. But yeah, if you do 5 steal missions in the game for the import-export business, the vehicle cargo, if you steal 5 vehicles, you get 250,000 during this 2-week event week. Which started on the 9th again. I'm doing this on the 18th now, I think it is. I started to stream late on this, but I started to stream late on the 17th. So I'm nowhere near as late on this one because it is a 2-week event week compared to the normal 1-week event week. But yeah, basically during that whole time, if you steal 5 vehicles, you get 250,000. And if you steal 10 vehicles, you get $500,000 actually. So that's a very easy way to make $250,000 and $500,000. Like I said, the only bad thing about that is that the stealing and sourcing missions and import-export are known to be the most annoying between any single business in this entire game. Because obviously Bunker and Biker, if you don't like stealing stuff for those businesses, you can just buy it as supplies and turn it into a passive business. You can't really do that with import-export now. So yeah, I'd definitely say import-export probably is the worst sourcing missions, but still if you do 5 and 10 sourcing missions, you actually get money out of it. And they will hit your base bank account apparently by June 30th, so basically the event, basically a couple event weeks after, it seems. Then now I should finally be on the login rewards. It's just such a good event week, so there's kind of a lot to explain. But yeah, there's a free Vinewood Boulevard radio t-shirt. But yeah, just logging in within the 2-week event week from the 9th to 23rd will get you the free Vinewood Boulevard radio t-shirt. I feel I kind of recognize it from before, so I don't think it's a new one at all, but yeah, it is the login reward regardless. If you don't have it, then that's a new login reward. Seems to be it for like login rewards actually. But yeah, there's also some free stuff actually going on right now, it seems, as well. You can go to the Diamond Casino bar or the Music Locker apparently to get free drinks on the house if you want some free like drinks, like if you want to do like the Macbeth whiskey shot. I would just do like the Macbeth whiskey shot that can knock you out instantly, and there's like certain things you can actually unlock by doing that, I believe. Like in terms of like some exclusive clothing stuff, I think there's some stuff you can unlock doing the Macbeth whiskey shot. So that could be a good time doing that kind of thing. Pegasus also has free concierge services. For those confused, I know the Pegasus thing is free. I'll show this off on the phone.
Hello, this is Pegasus Lifestyle Management. How can I help?
But yeah, for those who don't know, actually the concierge services for the phone have been free for a while. I think the reason is there was like a locate a plane glitch, and I guess the way of fixing that was for them to make Pegasus free for the phone. So at least on console, I think the phone service has always been free for like a while now because of the locate a plane. I guess that's how they had to fix that glitch or something that was in the game at one point.
Call again. Goodbye.
If I recall correctly, that is. But yeah, that's definitely not normally the case. I think that's kind of normally been the case for a while on console at least. Because of like a glitch that was on consoles, I believe. But I think it's referring to in the CO office. So if I go to the CO office, it should show that off better. Except actually I don't really want to go to the CO office. There's not much of a point to do that. Just to show the Pegasus thing. Basically any sort of like Pegasus service you can do, like in your CO office or otherwise, it's basically free. But I think it's always been free in the like phone for a while now, because there was like a glitch where they had to basically do that to like fix it up, I believe. So the phone services being 0 for Pegasus isn't new, and plus that's 200 anyways. It's not much even when it wasn't. But basically any other Pegasus service is free right now for the 2-week event week. And yeah, particularly for the last like 6-5 days that I'm doing this event week stream for a year. But yeah. And then CEOs can waive the cost of changing their office assistant and renaming organization. So if you want to change the gender of your office assistant, then you can change the gender of your assistant for sure. But if you want to change your organization name, that's definitely a huge thing you can do right now instead of having to pay a couple $100,000, whatever it normally is. So if you want a new like organization name change, it's definitely something that could be worth doing. So a bunch of free things going on. And then now it's just discounts essentially. And I'll actually probably be playing the game, and maybe I'll talk about the last generation announcement thing that Rockstar did as well. Because it's kind of scummy. I do understand it sometimes. I do understand it somewhat, but in other ways it's kind of scummy, so I might talk about it. But it's such a good event week, I feel like grinding on here actually. But yeah, there is actually some property discounts. But yeah, right now there's 50% off of the executive offices and then renovations. So for example, if you want the most expensive office right now is only $2 million for the stock property, which is pretty decent. Again, it's actually free right now, like I mentioned, for the personnel. Organization name again is completely free as well for this event. So if you want any of these for free, now's a good time. Gun locker and then safe. Accommodations. But yeah, right now with a couple free things, you can possibly even get the whole maze bank with renovations for only like $3.3 million right now. That's pretty good. Might be one of the best office discounts in the game that they've done, honestly. So like at a maximum price, you could probably get this for almost $3.4 million. But yeah. Gun locker allows you to store your weapons. There's lots of different properties that have this now. Certain properties even have a gun locker now that's built in the property as a complimentary thing. Like I think the nightclub comes with a gun locker automatically. I think the nightclub actually has a safe automatically as well. But even then, the safe is actually technically purely cosmetic. Like it stores like 500,000 million in the safe, and then any extra money I believe lies around in the office. So it kind of just shows your wealth in a sense. And accommodation allows you to spawn in there. For accommodation, I don't really necessarily recommend doing that for the office though, because it's not a very great spawning property anymore for the current days in GTA Online. Some of the best spawning properties in the game these days includes like the Saka, the facility, I'd kind of say is a good one still, and then like the hangar. Like yeah, you can get like you can get certain air vehicles, but yeah, normally the concierge services aren't free like it was before, obviously. I mean, like it is for this event week, obviously. But yeah. Very good deal right now for the Maze Bank Tower, sure. I might definitely consider doing that if I grind for the last few days, which I feel an update might be around the corner if they're doing a very generous 2-week event week. I don't think I mentioned it yet, but I don't feel they normally do event weeks this good, especially for a 2-week event week. I feel normally when they do longer event weeks is when they do like small stuff like stunt races and stuff, so basically do like a longer boring event week to kind of make it harder to make money. I feel they tend to do that. Having an actual good 2-week event week is definitely a very nice change of pace, I feel, or something. Definitely very appreciated. But yeah, since executive offices and renovations have off, doesn't seem to say anything for the executive office garage. I'll kind of check. I think I might have heard they might have added stuff for week 2. Okay, no, it doesn't seem they did. But yeah, just all the stuff from week 1 in terms of discounts and everything. The only thing that might have changed for the second week might be premium races and time trials again. Since this has been going on since June 9th, and it's the 18th now, and it goes till the 23rd, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, there's still a few days left on this event week, unlike most I do within the last couple of days or something. Because again, it was a 2-week event week. And then there's another property discount, but I'm not going to go to the CEO office to show it off right now. Don't even think I'm going to be going there, because I'll probably just use my terabyte if I do some import-export. But yeah. There's also 30% off of vehicle warehouses. 30% is not necessarily all that generous on a vehicle warehouse, but there's not really any renovations, so you're basically just paying the stock property. Plus there's like a couple cosmetic looks you can get for the vehicle warehouse. That's actually the only renovation you can do for the vehicle warehouse. And yeah, vehicle warehouse is especially worth it, obviously, because you need it for the import-export business, which, like I said, is one of the top couple things you could be doing in GT Online in these days. For a solo player, especially, it's one of the best couple things you can do in this game. For the vehicle cargo, definitely one of the best couple things to do for sure. Of course, you also need it for those vehicles that you can buy for the VIP work. So Phantom Wedge, Rune 2000, Technical Aqua, Wastelander, Armored Boxville, Rocket Baltic, Ramp Buggy, and then the Blazer Aqua. All 8 of those you need the vehicle warehouse in order to store all of those. So that also lets you store those. So if you don't do that business, it might be worth doing that sort of discount. If for some reason you want to have it to unlock those VIP works at least. But yeah, that should be the last sort of thing I need to do. That I don't really have anything on screen to show. Anything else I'll be showing should be vehicle discounts, and then I might be grinding this game like crazy because of the very good event week that's been going on. That's going on for the 2nd week now. So I might be looking at the discounts for a bit to know where to start on these websites. Alright. Looks like the first discount's gonna be on Elitist for regular discounts at least, but there is Prime Gaming discounts. Alright, I'm pretty sure Elitist is the first website with discounts. And there's actually 2 discounts. One's a Prime Gaming one though, so if you don't have Prime Gaming, then there's only gonna be 1 discount. And the Dodo's not on discount, just switched up at the moment. But yeah, the Volatus. Yeah, I'm gonna assume that's how the Volatus is pronounced. If you don't like that pronunciation, if it's not proper, then deal with it, whatever. But yeah, Volatus. I'll be going back on roughly 152 spreadsheets. I can go over to performance. Because this vehicle is actually still pretty good to own, actually, I feel. But yeah, Volatus for lap time, going off at roughly 1322 spreadsheet, is 6th place. So the Volatus is 6th place out of 19 different helicopters for a lap time. So yeah, 6th place lap time. And then the Volatus is actually 2nd place for top speed. Like I said, it falls behind the regular Sparrow in the game now, and that's been out since the latest update, Cayo Perico Heist, the vehicle I've been using. The Sparrow I've been using is the only helicopter that's better in terms of top speed than its latest over here. So this is the 2nd best helicopter in the game in terms of point A to point B. And you may not think much of that, but there is actually certain advantages it has over the Sparrow. And if you go into Sea of Vehicles, you actually will notice the Volatus can be spawned through the Sea of Vehicle menu. So yeah, whenever the Sparrow is not all that viable to spawn, or if for some reason your Sparrow gets destroyed, like when you're doing Cayo Perico Heist grinding, the Velatus could be a good secondary transport option actually. So I feel having the Velatus as a backup when your Sparrow gets destroyed, if you're one that grinds with the Sparrow for Cayo Perico Heist like myself, a very good backup option there. Because especially when I do like the Avenger setup thing, like the setup that features like the Avenger for the Cayo Perico Heist, or actually like the prep, because there's no setups for Cayo Perico Heist, just preps pretty much, and like gather intel and all that stuff. When you don't get like the office thing for like getting the weapon, whatever, when you're going for like the weapons for the Cayo Perico Heist, when you get that Avenger one, sometimes for me, my helicopter gets destroyed on that one, because the Valkyrie on that mission is very annoying. So yeah, but it's a very good secondary helicopter transport option for the Cayo Perico Heist when doing like prep missions, as long as you don't need like weaponry or anything. If you just simply need to like get back to your submarine or something. So hopefully that proves how good the Velatus can still be, even though it's been run by the Sparrow. And yeah, the CO vehicles do have better spawn convenience in some ways still than the actual Sparrow. I think when you already have the Sparrow called out, you have to like completely get rid of it, and then you have to call it again, and maybe even have to wait like the 2 minutes. But you can basically spawn a CO vehicle anytime that you're not by your CO vehicle. And of course that happened. Like, I'll show that actually right now, actually. So I am kind of planning on spending extra time on this stream, because I am planning to grind the game actually with this very good event week. I'll just park it here. Let me call my latest real quick here. But yeah, as long as I'm not using my Sparrow, it should not despawn. Actually, apparently the map icon disappeared, and that's fucking great, isn't it? Woo. Wait. Oh, now it's on there. Oh, I think it's getting glitched up with the Kosaka or something. Yeah, that icon might be getting glitched up with the Kosaka or something. Because it's weird, it wasn't on there. Like, it's still kind of not there. It's like just straight down there and whatnot. But yeah, I think the icon's glitched right now, kind of with the Kosaka. But yeah, my Sparrow's still around. It's just glitched up for some reason. But yeah, it says my Sparrow is already being used, so as you can see, no matter how far I go, when it's already out, I can't like call out for it. I have to return the vehicle. So there is a huge like spawn convenience difference, but still the Sparrow does have some better spawn convenience than the CO vehicle in some ways, I would imagine. Go for that, for example. That's the one thing the Sparrow has, if you can spawn it. And yeah, I have to wait 2 minutes. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to get another destroyed helicopter right now. But yeah, I'll spawn my Torador over here, and I'll show the difference in terms of spawn convenience. Because I think the Velatus is a very underrated vehicle in this game, for sure. I want to show its full potential, kind of, here. Oh my god, and of course my gameplay doesn't want, my internet connection quality doesn't want to be sufficient. Of course it doesn't want to be. Alright, then I guess I won't be grinding the game then. I wanted to grind the game, but no, my stream wants to act the fuck up, of course. Hopefully I can show everyone quick here then. But yeah, as you can see, if I just go a bit away from it, I can spawn a Velitas again, or any different thing. And yeah, if you just switch the vehicle, you can like repair the Velitas in a sense, as long as it doesn't get destroyed. You don't have to wait to like cool down in a sense. So there is definitely quite the spawn convenience, in a sense, compared to Sparrow. We have Velitas, very underrated vehicle, second best top speed, being dethroned by the Sparrow now. So hopefully that proves how good it is, kind of. And yeah, I don't know if my fucking stream is showing, but there's fucking commentary now. Of fucking course. So I guess I'll be trying to go over these discounts real quick now. Fucking piece of shit ass internet, of course. But yeah, Nimbus, if that can be seen on the fucking screen right now, that is. There's 60% off the Buckingham Nimbus for Prime Gaming. So if you're Prime Gaming, it's 60% off. It's gonna be like 1.9 mil. It's almost 800,000. Pretty good deal on that, for sure. But yeah, Nimbus. Oh my god. But yeah, the Nimbus in the Plains class is 16th place. So it's nowhere within the top 10 for lap time. And for top speed. Top speed, the Nimbus is 15th place. So it's a very average at best plane in the game. There's not really any spawn convenience for the Nimbus. So really, you're probably only going to want the Nimbus if you're big on collecting all the different Pegasus vehicles, like I kind of already did. I think I literally on the laser left the purchase for a Pegasus vehicle. For a little fun fact, by the way. Next will be Legendary Motorsport discounts. Yeah, Karen 190Z, 180,000 from like 990,000 or something. So that's an 80% off Prime Gaming discount. Yeah, Karen 190Z, I don't think it's actually one of the machine guns. Okay, yes, not one of those Doomsday Heist vehicles with machine guns. So I will be going over lap time and top speed. I think that's Sport Classic for the 190Z, I want to say. Pretty sure it is. Alright, yeah. It's a Sport Classic vehicle. Karen 190Z for Sport Classic class is 16th place lap time. So it is an above average for lap time on 16th place for the 190Z for lap time. Nowhere within the top 10, no, unfortunately. And then 190Z for top speed is 24th place, so a good bit, fair bit worse in terms of top speed. So it's not going to be very good performing necessarily, nowhere within the top 10 even, let alone top 5, top 5, top 3. So really it's kind of for customization, personal preference kind of reasons. I'm not really too sure if the customization's all that good or not, but yeah, it's kind of probably the best reason to get it, aside for some sort of personal preference kind of reason. For those who have Prime Gaming, like myself. And I think it's actually the other discount here on Prime Gaming, the last one, the 770. Alright, yeah. Oh no, okay, it's apparently the Bestia GTS actually, so that's a couple vehicles from now. 770 is a discount for everybody, it looks like. Alright, yeah. The Debauche 770, I think that's a sports car. Alright, yeah, 770 is a sports car. But yeah, the 770 for the sport car class is 34th place in terms of lap time. And then top speed. And then 770 for top speed is actually 10th place, actually. So it's actually at the bottom of the top 10 for top speed for the 770. But yeah, lap time at best is average around there. So... but yeah, it's at the bottom of the top 10. So I guess top speed can be okay to decent. But literally right next to it's a way better top speed option. Which I didn't go over top speed for supercar cost, because I mean, it went over lap time, because that's most races. So yeah, 770, best for customization, personal preference kind of reasons, but still, it's top 10 within the sport car class for top speed, so that's actually decent in a sense. However, the 811, that's a supercar. But yeah, P-Fister 811 for lap time is 34th place. So yeah, 34th place lap time for the P-Fister 811. Again, 34th place for lap time. And then top speed. Top speed for the 811 is... The 811 is actually first place in top speed, believe it or not, for the supercar class. So any sort of race for the supercar class that's like pretty much a complete straight, so basically like an airport drag race, for example, or something. Just racing on the like... But yeah. But yeah, just basically racing on like a straight line. The 811 will be the best on a straight line in terms of any sort of supercar, being number 1 top speed for the supercar class. And then Bestia GTS over here seems to be 610,000, but 80% off of Prime Gaming, that's 122,000. I think the Bestia GTS is a sports car again, and that's assuming, of course, my screen's showing, because of that bullshit pop-up that happened. Alright, where's Bestia GTS on that spreadsheet from Buffy 1322? Alright, that's a sport car, right? Come on. Oh yeah, Bestia GTS is a sport car. Alright. So for the sport class for lap time, the Bestia GTS is 29th place. And top speed... Top speed for Bestia GTS is 40th place, so that was 29th place lap time, I believe, and then 40th place top speed. So Bestia GTS is mainly for customization, personal preference kind of reasons, unfortunately, for that Prime Gaming discount over there. But yeah, I don't know. Prime Gaming this time around doesn't seem all that great in terms of performance. Probably either Bestia GTS or 190Z is probably the best of the Prime Gaming discounts. And for those who like to clock the Pegasus vehicles, like the Nimbus is pretty nice as well. And for those who might not have it already, for those of Prime Gaming. And then the Sterling GT seems to be on discount. Sterling GT is on a 40% off discount, which is typical discount percentage. And that's a Sport Classic vehicle, and I believe it still performs pretty decently, actually, in the Sport Classic class. But yeah, for lap time, the Sterling GT is 5th place, so it's still in the top 5 for lap times. That's pretty decent. A little under 600,000 instead of a little under a million. And then for top speed for Sport Classics class, the Sterling GT is 19th place, so the top speed's not great. Yeah, top speed's not great at all, but is still above average technically between the whole entire class for the top speed. But especially for lap time, Sterling GT 5th place, being that old of a vehicle, not that bad. So you can still get some decent performance from this vehicle, I suppose. And then that was it in terms of discounts on Legendary, apparently. It might just be Warstock for discounts after that. I think the only other discount left is on Warstock, and that is the 11 Strike Force, which is 35% off. And yeah, Insurgent Pickup Custom, not custom, but the Insurgent Pickup is not on discount, just glitched up at the moment. And then the Buzzer Attack Chopper is not on discount, it's just glitched up at the moment. But yeah. Last but not least, the B11 Strike Force. Instead of being $3.8 million, it's $2,470,000. I definitely don't remember this vehicle having a trade price. That's the normal price. There is no trade price, I'm very certain. But yeah, the 11 Strike Force is basically the one weaponized vehicle on discount for this event week. 35% off. Because it has God damn it, my throat's starting to get fucked, god damn it. It's starting to get really fucked now. But yeah, because it has weapons, it won't be going over performance. But yeah, it's a machine gun, it has an explosive cannon actually. The explosive cannon though, it's not that great. It's not great compared to the Hydra, Laser, and Savage cannon. Like, those cannons absolutely decimate practically anything. They're pretty overpowered in a sense. But I like it for sure. Very good for grinding for those explosive cannons. But B11 Strike Force, the explosive cannon on it, you have to actually get some pretty direct hits with it. So you have to be pretty accurate with the explosive cannon, even though it's explosive. Which is good for balancing it, I suppose, but... but yeah. Very good for balancing it, I suppose, but not that good for grinding, or doesn't make the vehicle, like, all that useful in a sense. And then for missiles, it only has 30 missiles, believe it or not. For an aircraft, it actually has limited homing missiles. They probably did limited homing missiles on this aircraft, probably prioritize on the, like, barrage missiles. It's probably one of like 4, maybe 5 vehicles in the game with barrage missiles, so it's one of the only few vehicles with barrage missiles. I know for a fact it's the only plane, I'm very certain, that has barrage missiles, so it's the only plane with barrage missiles, but yeah, probably not as useful in like a helicopter, but yeah. Unfortunately, I don't really feel his vehicle is all that great in terms of weapon capabilities. The explosive cannon's kind of disappointing. Like I mentioned, you have to get some good shots on it, which is kind of surprising for an explosive cannon of all things. Oh, even like the Rogue, which is cheaper, is probably better to get for explosive cannons that aren't like the Hydro Laser Savage cannons. A limit of 30 homing missiles I feel is very unnecessary. Like, let people choose if they want to do homing missiles or barrage missiles. It's one of the like only aircraft in the game. It's probably the only like full aircraft, not counting like the jetpack, for example, that has a like ammo limit on the missiles. Because most aircraft in the game obviously have unlimited missiles compared to most land vehicles, which actually have a limit. Besides for like the Torador. But yeah, the barrage missiles and the machine gun, the explosive cannons, unlimited at least. But yeah, pretty disappointing, unfortunately. So I would only get it if you're huge on collecting like all the different weaponized vehicles in the game, like myself. So for that reason, it's good enough to get it, I'd say, but it's not going to be a very great grinding vehicle necessarily. But yeah, I might still grind the game even though I got that stupid annoying notification thing being like internet connection quality currently insufficient bullshit nonsense whatever. Considering it literally always fucking happens. It literally always fucking happens within the first couple fucking hours. Yeah, I don't know, I might just be fucking done with the stream because my stupid internet connection doesn't want to be that great apparently for this fucking live stream. Of course, as per fucking usual. I wanted to grind import export, but I guess I won't be doing that now. Honestly, yeah, fuck it. I guess I'm not doing it. Yeah, screw it, I'm not gonna grind. I was gonna grind if my stream was working good, but I guess I won't. It took almost 2 hours to go through everything, because there's a lot to talk about with all different VIP worker challenges, and then how great import-export is, and how rare the 2 times is, and whatnot. No, actually, I won't be ending the stream yet. I did want to talk about the last generation, like, news thing. But yeah, I did want to talk about something, actually. And that has to do with the last generation of GTA Online, actually. Because for those who don't know, last generation GTA Online is actually shutting down, apparently. But yeah. Rockstar Games tweeted yesterday, or actually a couple days ago, on December 6th, I mean not December, June 16th, they tweeted, they basically gave a 6-month warning. They gave a 6-month warning that GTA Online for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 was shut down on December 16th, 2021. So, like, they could have given us news on Expanded and Enhanced or something, probably, and they just instead give us information that they're shutting down last generation. Right, that's quite weird. But yeah, they did that on June 16th, so they basically gave a 6-month warning. But yeah, I didn't feel it was worth making a whole video on it. It just doesn't seem worth it, because it'd mainly come off as a rant, and there'd be a bunch of dick suckers probably hating or something. But yeah, I'll read it, I suppose. as we continue to move forward with updates and support for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC versions of Grand Theft Auto Online, as well as prepare for this fall's launch of the new expanded and enhanced versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S, the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions of GTA Online, including website stack tracking via the Rockstar Games Social Club, will officially be shutting down on the 16th. In addition, Shark Cash cards for GTA Online will no longer be sold for the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions after September 15, 2021. Okay, why are they still selling Shark cards if they knew that people weren't like getting them in the first place? Since I'm assuming they wouldn't shut this stuff down if they knew there was like a decent amount of people on there. Well, actually, I feel there is a decent amount of people on there. I definitely don't doubt that. Because I hear in some countries it's not easy to even get a like PS4 or something because of like the money difference from like a US dollar to enter blank currency here or something. So like just because it's easy for us like Americans to get a PS4, don't be thinking it's necessarily the same in every country. Because like the rate of money, whatever, and like I don't know, like economy is not as good in certain countries essentially. That sucks for like people in like other countries and stuff who might legitimately not have been able to get the version. And quite frankly, I don't feel they even need to do this game again for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series S and X. Like, I don't even see why they're doing this game again in the first place. Like, just work on the next game as soon as they want to be a next game at this point. Holy lord. Like, I'd rather see another fucking GTA than the same one on a third system. Like, okay, I get why they did it for PS4, Xbox One, and PC, because it didn't get its good run on the last gen. Like, 2 last gens ago, now that we're on PS5 and Xbox Series X, of course. I get why they did PS4, Xbox One, and PC, because it's only had a couple years and all that on the 360, PS3. Like, this game's been a thing since like 2014 on the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. I really don't see why it needs to continue. Like, it's been like 8 years already of Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto Online, though 95% that's GTA Online, because they don't do single player DLCs anymore. Like, man, I've been watching Professional play Lost and Damned again. I wish we could kind of go back to those days. In fact, they were going to do single player DLC in like 2014. They mentioned like so long ago, but of course, online ruined any chance of a single player update. Like, hell, I'd rather see a single player DLC, like a proper one finally. I'm not counting the PS4 and Xbox One versions. The PC versions bringing more content. I don't count that as single player DLC. They only did that because they brought new versions of the game and only going to do new content for single player, because it sounds like they are, actually, from the wording on there. For the PS5, Xbox Series X, they're only going to do that because they're putting it on new systems. Like, I'd like to see an actual, proper, single-player DLC, if anything. So, like, these versions have to be shut down just because they're doing, like, a third unnecessary version of the game. Like, I don't understand. And especially with backwards compatibility being a thing, I don't see why they need to do it. And then again, when the game can, like, run like other shit but a casino, like, guess it kind of makes sense, since they need to make more money from GTA 5, I guess, or more so GTA Online now, and it has been for years. Haven't got like any vehicles until Gotham Games Part 2, which is literally the last generation DLC. So we didn't get new vehicles at all in the current generation, pretty much. In terms of new DLC vehicles, I mean, not like ones that were added from DLCs before, which again was the last gen essentially. or 2 last gens ago. And yeah, I'd like to see a lot of like normal vehicles on PS4, Xbox One, and PC get in. I would like to see a lot of weaponized stuff too, but I don't really see that necessarily happening for the story mode. Plus, honestly, I kind of hope it doesn't happen, because it would be more like old school feeling. And that's something I want to bring up as well. Getting rid of the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions gets rid of the like most decent kind of like traditional GTA, like old school GTA version of Grand Theft Auto Online. They're getting rid of it now, apparently, to make room for the other versions. They're essentially getting rid of the most friendly like version of the game, putting like modders aside, because it's surely a clusterfuck of modders, because I mean it's super easy to mod the PS3 and Xbox 360, especially if them being like 15 years old or something. I think I hear even the 360 is like 16 years old. So yeah. That's funny, they still haven't shut down Shark Card sales or whatever, like, there's a whole separate date just to shut down Shark Card sales. Like, oh my god, like, why are they still selling Shark Cards? And I bet some fool out there is still buying Shark Cards on there. If they still haven't done that or something, I don't know. Like, obviously I know, like, these server things and whatnot aren't gonna last forever, but at least let it last so you're done with Grand Theft Auto 5 in general, period. I don't know why they have to get rid of it for a whole nother version of the game. That probably shouldn't be happening in the first place. Holy lord. Like, I don't play on that version, so I don't care too much, but I don't know, I might consider getting Xbox Live just to experience it. It's like last days or something. I don't know if I'm willing to pay like $10 for a month or some shit. Because I have a 360, I don't have a PS3, so I would have to pay for online. But I think that's all I wanted to say about the first paragraph of the GTA Online for PlayStation 3 Xbox 360 was shut down on December 16th, 2021. Okay, next paragraph. Please note these changes are strictly for the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions of GTA Online and will have no impact on access to or progress within the Grand Theft Auto 5 story mode. I think that's a little bit bullshit, actually. I think there's like an online stock market, and I don't know if that's going to be impacted. But there is an online stock market for the single player that can only be used in the single player, because stock market never happened for GTA Online. Yeah, I think there's 2 different stock markets in the story mode. I think there's a Bossack one, and then there's like a Liberty stock market. I think like the Liberty, stock market or something. Basically, there's 2 stock markets. I think there's an entirely offline stock market, and then there's an online stock market. One of the stock markets in the game actually requires online in the like social club and stuff, I think. So, wouldn't there technically be some impact in the story mode getting rid of like the social club tracking and stuff? Because I think there's literally a whole stock market that you actually have to have like an internet connection to even use. So you can't get... So then that means you won't be able to like take advantage of some of the stuff of like certain like assassination missions anymore for making some easy money in the game. I mean, you probably don't need that money necessarily to game, but still, I think it will have some sort of story mode impact if I'm correct on one of the stock markets being online only. Like, I think I remember when I did my like PlayStation 4 like walkthrough series for Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PS4. I think at one point, like, I think when I was actually doing one of my streams, I noticed like the stock market wasn't working yet. Everything else with my internet was working, and then I messaged them on like Rockstar support or something, and they said like something was wrong with it or something. So yeah, I think one of the stock markets will be entirely unusable when they do that, assuming it does the same kind of thing. Because the way they have it, like, online at all probably is through the social club if that's shut down the whole entire online. So no, I think there will be a story mode thing that happens where you won't be able to use one of the stock markets, so you can't take advantage of a couple of the different, like, huge ways of making money in the story mode. Which the stock market is basically the best way to make money in the story mode. And one of those stock markets is going to be gone probably when that happens. If I'm understanding it right. If for some weird reason somebody actually views this part, then feel free to let me know if I'm correct or not. But yeah. And yet you only be able to see like certain stats stuff like story mode on like the social club. Like I know that doesn't impact the actual progress, but like you're kind of limiting like how much money people can make since you chose to make an online stock market for the single player for some reason, like offline game. Because I'm pretty sure only one of the two stock markets is fully offline, or it's actually in like online stock market or something. And then additionally, website stat tracking via the Rockstar Games Social Club and other features for select PlayStation 3 and PS3 and Xbox 360 titles will be shutting down on September 16th, 2021. These include website stat tracking online multiplayer and leaderboards for the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions of Max Payne 3. So they're killing another online game, being Max Payne 3. They're killing Max Payne 3 multiplayer now. And a little reminder, they actually killed GTA 4 multiplayer, but for PC only. Like, if they can keep the 360 PS3, like, multiplayer for GTA 4, why can't they keep the multiplayer for Max Payne 3 or GTA Online? Like, I don't know, maybe it's completely different between the PC and then PS3 360 for what's required for online for GTA 4, I don't know. Like, man, that's trash. They're getting rid of another multiplayer, not just GTA Online, but Max Payne 3. First, I've never played Max Payne 3, but that definitely sucks for sure. And I would imagine that might have been backward compatible on like the Xbox One and Series X. That's such a low blow. Though I don't know if that's the case. I'm just assuming. Because I know like San Andreas and like GTA 4 are on like the Series X, for example, and then Xbox One for compatibility. And if I didn't say leaderboards as well. And then website stat tracking for the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions of LA Noire, or Noir, whatever pronunciation. Which for LA Noire, or LA Noir, whatever, that actually kind of impacts the story mode, I'm pretty sure. I don't even think there is an online for LA Noire, no, like aside for like certain features, but it is kind of intermixed into the story mode. Like I know on PS4, I have the PS4 version of it. I never had the Xbox 360 version of it. Like I know there's like an intuition point thing, and when you get to like 5 intuition points, for example, like certain vehicles get revealed on the map and stuff. So is that not going to make it somewhat harder to get certain things done and stuff on LA Noire on the previous gen systems? Like they say, it has no impact on the story mode for those games as well. That's what it says there, actually. All these changes will have no impact on access or progress in story mode for any of these titles on either platform. Yet the problem is, LA Noire is a largely single-player game, so how could they honestly say that? So actually it says website stat tracking, so maybe that's only for like the social club and not like anything in the games. If there is intuition points for PS3 and 360, for example, for LA Noire or Noir or whatever, then maybe that's still possible. I'm kind of unwilling to believe it on Alley Nowhere because that is largely single player. But yeah, if it's only through like a website, then I guess it makes sense. But yeah, the one that's the hugest red flag, and that I think it's bullshit, is actually GTA 5. Like, the story mode actually will be impacted because I think one of the stock markets is online only, and therefore kind of requires a social club. Like, I think investments players make on like the online stock market actually impacts like all players and stuff. So one of the stock markets just straight up won't be available, I'm guessing. Like I said, like I think the Bossack one, I think that one's not the online one. I think that's like the offline stock market. I think there's like another like stock market, like the Bank of Liberty or something. I think that's an online stock market on an offline game, might I add. So like, I think that the whole stock market would literally shut down. That's like the one thing that I don't believe. I think that will actually have a story mode impact. If for some reason people were to replay the game, it might be harder to make money, you know, if that were to go away when that happens, obviously. But yeah, and they said we'd like to thank the GTA Online community for their continued support and look forward to seeing players continue their journey in nostalgia with some new platforms. Yeah, I don't know if y'all deserve the new support if you shut down like the old version of the game when GTA Online is still very current in its day. Like, I'd understand if they move on to the next GTA to do it eventually, but I think it's too early. Like, I get 8 years, it's pretty generous compared to some other games, maybe. But there's been games like back on the PS2, there might even still be some PS2 game out there. There's probably still some game out there that's had servers longer than GTA Online, even. Like, you think with all the shark card money they make and all that, they'd be able to keep it up and stuff. Yeah, sorry for the rants, but like, it's kind of really stupid. I know I wouldn't play the version again, especially because I'm on 360, which has a paid online, whereas PS3, I believe it's free online. I can't really like go online unless I were to pay money on it. I don't think I'm going to be doing that. Plus, even if it's not going to impact my experience, I'm still going to speak up for the people's experience it will impact. So like I said, other countries, there's not as good of an economy in every single country, surely, for people to have the current systems or get the next systems, especially. Like how the current systems and new ones right now are apparently already a pain to get. And still are. But yeah, and then it says for more information, please visit Rockstar support, which actually I will, because there's some more ironic, funny kind of stuff to point out. But yeah, end of online services for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions of GTA 5, Max Payne free, and Alley Nowhere FAQ. It was apparently created May 26th. I don't know if they've had it for like a whole month prepared, or almost a whole month prepared. But yeah. What was the expected timeline and information for schedule changes to online services for GTA 5, Max Payne free, and Alley Nowhere on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360? And again, I'm on Rockstar support now. I'm out there Rockstar Newswire, talking about the last gen stuff. But yeah. For Grand Theft Online, PS3, Xbox 360, September 16th. Shark cards no longer will be sold on September 16th, so basically they gave a 3-month warning for shark cards, but like, who gets shark cards on those versions anymore? Like I said, I think those versions are super infested with modders, because I think even when the like 360 and PS3 were in its like last relevant days for the most part, I think even then those systems were super moddable. Whereas like PS4, Xbox One still don't seem to have anywhere near that much of a problem, and it's already PS5 and Xbox Series S and X. Obviously, they're newer systems, they'll obviously have better security, but still, like, it's kind of a joke how easy those ones got, like, modded and all that stuff. But yeah, it's probably the modding community that keeps those versions alive, and it's probably mainly modders on those ones, but I don't doubt, of course, obviously, that there's still good, genuine people on there. Yeah, why did they randomly choose to do shark card like 3 months earlier? They might as well wait till the 16th if they've already waited so long to, like, not do shark cards on those versions anymore. But yeah, there's probably some fool out there who still gets shark cards on those systems. For all I know, it's probably someone out there. But yeah, then December 16th again. Services for PS3, Xbox 360 versions, including with stack tracking via Social Club, no longer available. But yeah, like I said, PS5, Xbox Series S and X versions aren't really necessary anymore. I mean, I really don't feel they're necessary. Like, yeah, GTA Online and GTA 5, GTA Online, they only got a couple years on last gen because there was already, like, GTA 4 in the beginning. Quite frankly, I don't even know why they did this game even for last gen if it only had a couple years in it and, like, barely any DLC and stuff. Like, quite frankly, I don't even see why they did those versions. I feel like they just did it for more money at the time, to be quite honest. I feel like they literally just did those versions for more money. Of course, I was one of those people that got the collector's edition for them to just do more versions of the game within, like, not even 2 years, I'm pretty sure. And then the, like, original versions don't get supported for, like, 2 whole years, I'm pretty sure. So, like, what's even the point in doing those versions in the first place, actually? Because they're even having to shut down versions that maybe shouldn't have existed in the first place. Like, maybe this game actually should have started on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Because, like, we didn't even get a new GTA on PS4, Xbox One, and PC. We didn't get a new one. We just got the same one. Pretty much. So, like, they should have just waited the PS4, which is literally, like, they released GTA 5 on those systems literally September 2013, and PS4, Xbox One were already known about. But yeah, and then again, they clarify on the, like, Rockstar support page, of course, that GTA 5 story mode for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 is not impacted. But again, I'll go back to the stock market. There's the Bossack, there's like the Bossack stock, goddammit, there's like the Bossack stock market. I know there's that one for sure, and then I think there's like Bank of Liberty is like the other one. One of those fucking stock markets is actually fully online, so how can they say that it's not going to impact story progress? Because a lot of people like to use the assassinations and then like the heists to make a lot of money in the game. In fact, when I played the 360 version for the first time, since a lot of that stuff wasn't known about, like, fully, when I played it the first time around, I only got like 15, maybe like 20 million for each character at the end, and that's not enough for like all the Pegasus vehicles and stuff. So hopefully getting rid of like the online stock market's not gonna like make it much harder to get all the different like stuff in the game. So it could be a huge progress issue if that stock market does indeed go down for whatever one's online. And yeah. Probably Noir, whatever, basically the same thing, and then Max Payne 3, basically the same thing. I just wanted to clarify extra again on the GTA Online one, because that's the worst of the bunch for sure. Especially with how, like, current and all that it is. And yeah, I think a lot of people, I think, share my same opinion, honestly, that they think the PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S, and X versions of the game will be so unnecessary. Like, I think literally the, like, trailer, at least on the PlayStation YouTube or something, I think the trailer actually gets more dislikes than likes. So I think literally the announcement of PS5, Xbox Series S, X fucking GTA 5, I think it literally got more dislikes than likes, yet still going through with it and are gonna botch the OG versions on now. Like, again, like I said, I kinda understand it, but like, I think it's still kinda too early when they still give this much of a shit about GTA Online. Like, if they were done with GTA Online, I'd get it, but yeah, they're not, so... And then there is actually a couple unique things that are on the Rockstar support that were not mentioned on the Rockstar Newswire. And this one I found to be hilarious. But yeah, first of two questions, it's not on the Rockstar support, that's not on the Rockstar Newswire. Will I be able to transfer my progress from GTA Online on PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 to current console generations before it is shut down on December 16th, 2021? No, this is not possible. It was possible. It was possible until y'all got rid of it a few years ago. Because of the modder problems, where they would bring their old, like, modded money from those very insecure systems into the new secured systems in PC, which, let's be real, that's also a modder fest. Maybe not as bad, but maybe even way worse than PS3 and 360. So, oh man, they screwed anyone who didn't fucking already have a PS4 or Xbox One. And again, don't just think about your own country, the Americas, UK, or whatever. There is countries out there, apparently, where the economy is nowhere near as good, and it's not so easy to get systems and all that stuff. That's what I've been reading when going through, like, comments and stuff in different places. And I'm willing to believe it for sure. I don't think it's just a bunch of baloney or something. Those people especially get screwed because they got rid of that feature a few years ago. And that was the first sentence, by the way. But yeah, no, this is not possible. There is no feature available to transfer character data or progress from those platforms. Again, there was, but he removed it a few years ago. Rockstar. Which I kind of understood the reason, but like, still, it's their own fault, and they got rid of people's ability to take their progress to another system just because they couldn't have good anti-cheat or something. Like, even if the systems PS3, 360 were moddable and stuff, I'm certain they could have probably tried to do better anti-cheat or something. And all other kinds of stuff or whatever. I'm not the most informed on all that stuff, but I have a decent enough understanding, I think. All state stat tracking for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, or PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 via the Rockstar Games Social Club will also be removed. But yeah, it's funny, they pretend like they never had a character transfer system in the first place. Like, they literally, like, pretended that they've never had a feature available to transfer character data. Okay, maybe I somewhat twisted words around there, but, like, they could have at least acknowledged that they took it away a few years ago, no? Or, no, was it bad PR or something? I don't know. They probably didn't want to make themselves look bad or something. And the other question. Can I get a refund for shark card purchases for GTA Online and PlayStation 3 or Xbox 360 or transfer to balance the current console generations? Virtual currency and virtual goods purchases are platform specific and cannot be refunded or transferred. Please see our EULA or a user license agreement for additional details. And there's a link to it, and then please note that users in certain countries may have additional consumer rights under their local law. Where applicable, these users will be contacted with further information. Oh my god, and there's 57 dick suckers out of 131 people in total that found the article helpful. So, more than half of the people on there that like said yes or no to the article helpful, they didn't actually find it helpful. More than half didn't find that helpful. Not actually bothered with that. So yeah, you can probably tell by that people are pissed with this decision. Like, actually, I'd rather them keep the old versions rather than doing these unnecessary new versions of the game. Like, this game really needs to have a third release. And for context, back in the days of GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, there was 3 whole different GTAs. That was 2001, 2002, 2004. PS2 had 3 whole new GTAs. That was all PS2. And there's also 2 way more forgettable ones, apparently, that certain people don't know about. GTA Liberty City Stories and then Vice City Stories. I would count as 2 whole different new GTAs, even if they're like the same map. I feel they're different enough. Count as their own games. Those all were... Basically, PS2 had 5 different GTA games. And then PS4 and PS5, they get this one GTA game, essentially, for like a relevant new release. I'm not talking about like re-releases, aside for GTA 5 and online, obviously. I saw like some meme shit about that. It's hilarious. How he went to like 3 to 5 different GTAs, and you can even count like GTA 4 and The Last Stand, Body of Tony, and you can even count like lesser known like GTA Chinatown Wars. Even on like PS3 360, we got a good decent bit. Way better, I'd say, compared to GTA 5, and GTA 5 again unnecessarily for the PS5, Xbox Series SX. I don't know what's going on with this company anymore, actually. Like, obviously, I still like this game, yeah, and of course, I'll probably still get this version, that new, unnecessary version at some point, unless I just want to be done with it at that point. But yeah. Oh man. They're getting rid of the most friendly version of the game, in terms of, like, not such overpowered nonsense and whatnot. Like, I'm not a Mark II hater, I love the Mark II and all that stuff. Like, it's obviously a people problem. Like, depending on the people you encounter, you're gonna get the griefers, or you're not gonna get griefers. But yeah. Trying to think if I want to say anything else, honestly. Oh yeah, I didn't really get to talk about that last question thing that they did about the refund for shark card purchases, but yeah. Nah, y'all should refund people for their fucking shark cards. It should be a fucking legal issue, you know, y'all didn't fucking... That y'all purposely got rid of this fucking transferring a few years ago. Because y'all can have good anti-cheat or something. I get it, those PS3, Xbox 360, those are mod hellholes, and they were even before the PS4 and the Xbox One, I'm pretty sure. But like, damn, at least like, kind of like temporarily bring back that feature or something. Like, are they not gonna bring back that feature? Like, they really don't want to bring back that feature for like another 3-6 months. Like, if they can like keep track of it better, maybe that would be great, but man, that's fucked up. That's a big FU to your consumers to do that. And like, it's kind of their fault. They could fucking force better anti-cheat on the PS4, maybe get rid of that money or something. Or hell, maybe let people keep all their fucking stuff from those versions, since there's not much crazy shit on there, and maybe just get rid of the money. Like, they could have done that, maybe just let people transfer their stuff and not their, like, money or something, if they were to, like, bring it back or something. Like, you're seriously telling me they can't just bring it back? They had to, like, flat out disable it 100%, like, for good? But yeah, that's probably been the biggest FU in, like, years or something from this company. So So basically, for the last few years, people have been screwed and have to like fully start over. And quite frankly, it's kind of scary that they're not like giving people the option to like transfer progress again. It's scary they're not letting people transfer their progress again on 360. They clarify that they're not bringing it back or something. Like, what does that mean for the PS4, Xbox One PC, the PS5, Xbox Series X? Are they just gonna make people start over on GTA Online like they did with story mode from PS3 to PS4? Because they made people start over on story mode. If they have like the social club and all that stuff, I feel they were where they could have maybe had story mode progress come back. Like, are they going to do that for the new versions too? That's kind of a scary precedent that they don't bring that feature back for the last gen people. That kind of gives a bad incentive or bad like idea that they're probably not going to want to do that for the new versions. I swear, there's no character transfer. I don't feel I'm going to bother with the next version of the game, that's for sure. Knowing Rockstar, they might actually do it though for PS4 to PS5. Yeah, knowing Rockstar, they might do it for 8th gen and 9th gen systems, but yeah, 7th to 8th gen they're not bringing back. It's a very bad precedent. Like, what does that mean for us on PS4, Xbox One, PC? I mean, I'd maybe understand PC. Obviously, it's already clusterfuck of modders and stuff, but go on, at least allow PS4, Xbox One to do it when you do it for the next versions, hopefully at least. But yeah, they should really give people money back. Like, they have the tools to tell if people had a PS3 and Xbox 360 version. But yeah. Goddamn, it's sort of throat. But yeah. They do have the tools entirely in their hand to tell if people had a PS3 or Xbox 360 version, so like they can tell what like versions of games you have with their like social club and all that stuff. So if those PS3 360 people like get new versions and still keep track if they had those versions before, they at least give them like a free fucking Megadon fucking shark card or some shit. Or essentially a free 8 million deposit, you know, if they do with their like event weeks and stuff. If they aren't gonna fucking refund people for shark cards. Actually, in fact, give me a fucking refund for my fucking collector's edition. Like $300 shit. Or a game that y'all made new versions for like not even 2 years later. I'm kidding though. I chose to buy a collector's edition on a game that I knew was probably not gonna last that long. Considering it was already at the end of the 360 PS3 lifespan and all that. I made that decision, I'll stick to it, and especially after this announcement, and actually since like 2015, I guess I kind of understand that. I don't know. It's just a really dumb move in my opinion, and they're doing it over a version that doesn't even need to happen in the first place. Like I've been saying, PS4 and Xbox One GTA 5 actually got a good shot, because they were the only like main GTA on there. It wasn't like PS3 360 where it had GTA 4 and the single player DLCs. And GTA 5 was only on there for not even like a year and a half even, and there was the current gen versions at the time, or whatever. But yeah, it's really pathetic that they're doing this over a couple new versions of the game that shouldn't even be happening in the first place. GTA 5 has its run, GTA 5, GTA Online has the best run it should have on PS4 and Xbox One. And now they're bothering it. And now they're probably going to bother with the game for probably a whole nother console generation, and we're probably still not going to get the next installment. I think by now we need another GTA game. And I'm not counting like the GTA 3 thing they hinted at, by the way, and that's a remake, most likely at best. assuming it's not just the mobile version on consoles or something at this point. But yeah, I didn't expect to be on that long of a rant. I expected to maybe do it for like 5-10 minutes, not like 30 or 40 or something, but like, it's really irritating for a long-time Rockstar fan for sure, with me especially, kind of. Yeah, I'm gonna check my stream again. Why not? Why not indeed? Alright. But yeah, that's fine gonna be it for the stream. Next stream's gonna be the Red Dead Online event week stream. I didn't wanna grind the game, unfortunately. I didn't grind the game, unfortunately. Because of the stupid internet connection quality currently not sufficient nonsensical bullshit that popped up on my stream. Because that happens a lot within like the first hour or two. But yeah, that's fine gonna be it for the stream. Especially with that annoying news, and then also that shit didn't work well and whatnot. For my stream, I mean. Hope you fucking enjoyed.